It is no secret that I loathed 1994's Sonic Drift. Its copy and paste level design paired with its mind-numbing gameplay made it a slog to get through and a bad first attempt at a racing game in the series. So when I heard about Sonic Drift 2, it was quite easy to dismiss it due to all of Sega's failures by 1995. But after sitting down and playing the 3 cups it has to offer, I'd like to say I'm pleasantly surprised by this. From my analysis, Sonic Drift 2 had a lot more of a smooth development cycle than its predecessor. This can be due to development support being provided by Arc System Works, who hit big with the Guilty Gear series by the end of that decade. I know Sonic Team was rejoicing at the thought of this because their hands were full due to games such as, say, Sonic 3D Blast on Genesis and Saturn, as well as the cancelled Sonic Extreme. And unlike last time, it was actually released internationally, March 1995 in Japan, April 1995 in Europe, and November 1995 in North America. For footage of this, I'm playing it on the Sonic Gems collection, which released exclusively in North America on the GameCube, with the PlayStation 2 version being available for other regions. And before we get started, let me just put this out there. Drift 2 isn't bad. It's about as good as you can get for a handheld racing game in 1995. Let me explain why. We get the Sega logo once again, and the title screen alone shows how much more time Sega put into this compared to the first game. And we finally have a decently sized roster this time. I like how everyone has this inviting look, and then Eggman's over here just high as shit in the corner. Anyways, the menu has this nice POV of Sonic in the tornado with Tails and Knuckles beside him. It's a whole lot better than that puke green from the first one. The menu's got the same options as before: Chaos GP, Free Run, and Versus. Time to go to the character select screen now, and Sonic is flipping me off. Is this a sign? Anyways, the character select screen has this wheel formation, and Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Eggman return. No shit, obviously. But joining them is Fang the Sniper from Sonic Triple Trouble, Knuckles from Sonic 3, and Knuckles, and Metal Sonic from Sonic CD. When you start a GP, you get the track name on this red stripe with the game logo in the corner, just in case you forget what you're playing. And then the race begins. I can finally see what's going on this time. Each of these tracks have far more distinct layout and visuals than the ones in the previous game. Even though I'm not a big fan of the map on screen, it's far more needed here for more difficult tracks such as, say, Dark Valley for example, so fair enough. Though I don't get why the place number is on the opposite side of my character. Overall, the locales here are far more bright and colorful than they were in the first game, which means a lot here. When it comes to the gameplay in Sonic Drift 2, there's far more diversity here and far more fun to be had here than in Sonic Drift 1. Let's start at the basics, the handling and the drifting of the vehicles.
Say that again?
The turning feels so much more snappy and responsive here. It's like I'm actually having a race in a racing game. Who would have thought? Unlike the first one, there's actually items in this game. You got this red monitor that makes you go faster. The yellow monitor allows you to jump over various obstacles. And the black monitor operates as a mine you can throw at enemies when things get a little too dicey. The springs return from Sonic Drift 1 and they operate the same way they did beforehand. The flash star operates as a flash grenade. And then there's the reverse that reverses controls. It's a decent list of power-ups. Nothing too impressive, but I'm glad that Sonic Team bothered to put any in there to make things interesting. The AI are a lot more aggressive here too. They'll try to slam you and psych you out the entire race. That being said, the AI are pretty stupid sometimes, especially the Eggman CPU. He just loves throwing the mines forward and then running into them. Mind you, his IQ is supposed to be 300. That's gotta be a fucking lie. Overall, the gameplay is pretty enjoyable despite it feeling like a novelty. What is more impressive is the level design and variety. Sonic Drift 2 triples the stage count from Sonic Drift 1 at 18 new stages, many of which are inspired from Sonic 2 or to strap original tracks, and they go as follows. For Purple Chaos Grand Prix, there's Emerald Hill 1, Hilltop 1, Dark Valley 1, Chaos Knight, Desert Road 1, and Iron Ruin. White Chaos Grand Prix has Desert Road 2, Rainy Savannah, Ice Cap, Hilltop 2, Mystic Cave, and Emerald Hill 2. In the final cup, the Blue Chaos Grand Prix has Dark Valley 2, Quake Cave, Balloon Panic, Emerald Ocean, Milky Way, and Death Egg is the final track. Pretty nice variety of courses overall, which have their own gimmicks, which I find pretty impressive for the Game Gear. Ice Cap has his half-pipe section going on, decay levels are completely underground, Emerald Ocean is over water, and Rainy Savannah has these obnoxious weather effects happening throughout the race. There's definitely repeated themes here, but I'd say this is a good roster of tracks despite that. And don't sleep on the soundtrack either, there's plenty of classics on here. Overall, Sonic Drift 2 is the best you could have expected of any kart racer on a handheld, and easily rivals Super Mario Kart in terms of replayability and enjoyability. Too bad no one gave a fuck about it by the time it came out. Last video I discussed how Sega was trying to handle 7 different pieces of hardware, and that comes into play here. In 1995, the talk of the town was the next console generation coming up. Mainly, the Sega Saturn versus the Sony PlayStation. Due to Sega's poor internal managing, the Sega Saturn was shadow dropped on May 11th, 1995 for $100 more than the PS1 to get hype going before the PS1 release in September 9th, 1995. Sega was able to sell 60,000 Saturns by September 9th, but on the first day of the PS1's release, Sony sold 130,000 consoles. But despite Sega's troubles in 1995, they were able to deliver a quality product that pushed the Sega Game Gear to its absolute limits. But the next Sonic racing game was having a really tough time being on the Saturn and trying to breathe life into it as it was dying. And that's where Sonic R comes in. We'll cover that next time on the Racing Game Marathon. Thanks for watching the video, I hope you really enjoyed it. Click around me to find the Marathon series, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.